It is now 8:39. It's Pete. I've got the beat, and I haven't seen this guy in a while. Ben Brown's here. How are you?
Oh, doing great, Pete, and good to be here at the Tell in the summertime.
This is a great time to have you. Ben, by the way, Community Bank has been here a number of times, and he always keeps us up to date on what's going on. Good time for you to be here.
Absolutely. So
Yeah,
things are moving.
Things
are moving. There's some change in the air, right?
And you hear it, and you keep hearing these little buzzes going on. And of course, we're talking about the potential, I'll underline that, decrease in interest rates. So can you tell us a little more about this?
Absolutely. So, we wanted to come and talk about this because there's a lot of questions up in the air right now. And so we've got some easy ways for folks to think through this. So, but yeah, we've got election year obviously coming up. We're all hearing that. We've got the end of summer kind of transitioning a little bit into fall, though it is 90. So we'll figure that out next week. But I do have leaves that are coming down. And we're talking about interest rate cuts. We're hearing this in the news. And so we all know we came from that point of 0% or close to 0% interest rates for so long, right? Everything was so low as far as interest. And then it spiked up, at least it felt like that, right? So what we're seeing now is as these talks about cuts are coming, so, what do we want to bring up? Okay, so if you're a saver and you've got money set aside, what actions can you take now to prepare for that, if that does happen, right? If you're borrowing right now because you're building or you're buying things, et cetera, again, what actions can you take? And how do you kind of position yourself? So I figured we'd come on and talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure, because you kind of, in the back of your head, you hear this, and let's say you got all the things going that you just mentioned. Now what?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll start with loans.
Okay.
So typically there's two types of loans when it comes to the interest. It's how the interest is determined. It's either a fixed rate loan or it's a floating rate. So fixed rate, okay, I get a loan for 30 years at 7%. It doesn't change. That's pretty simple, right? The floating rate, that's a loan, and that says, well, that rate will move as interest rates in the market move, right? And that's largely determined by the Federal Reserve, which is why we had here the Fed cutting rates. So if the Fed starts cutting rates, what you'll see, a lot of those floating rate loans are tied to what they call an index. So that's the Federal Reserve rate, a certain rate there, plus or minus some percent. So that typically moves up and down with the Fed, right?
Okay.
So typical floating rate loans are things like credit card bills, right? Credit card loans are typically floating. Home equity loans are typically floating rate. Personal loans can be floating, things like that. And even some mortgages can be floating rate for the first couple of years, depending on the type of mortgage that you get. Now, your fixed rate loans, those are typically your house loan, your car loan, things of that nature. So if rates are coming down and you have a floating rate loan, hey, you're in the win, right? Your rates are coming down.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a fixed rate loan and rates start to come down, so say you did buy a house within the last year or two, right? Mortgage rates were hit almost 8.5% at some levels. It depends on what kind of credit and the term of the loan. Well, if rates start to come down and all of a sudden now they're 6.5 or 5.5%, then you start talking about refinancing. Okay. So that's when you want to say, hey, I don't want to pay that 8 or 8.5. I want to come back in, get a new loan at a lower rate.
Now, to do that, do you have you had to pay on it for a length of time before you can come in and redo it? Or?
Depends on the loan.
Okay.
But usually not so much. I mean,
Okay.
Usually a year is kind of the guideline, but it comes down to the math too, because there are other costs when you refinance. It's not just getting a new loan. It could be a new appraisal. It could be title fees or transfer fees, some things like that. So it's got to make financial sense. And there's a great calculator. We got one on our website, cb.bank, where you can kind of type in a home refinance calculation, put in some parameters there and see what it looks like. But what I tell folks is the same thing I do. It's talk to a mortgage professional. At the end of the day, they know the market, they know the rates, they know the fees, they know how it all works. They'll save you years of your life trying to figure it out.
Yeah, really.
and get that relationship established now. Especially if we think rates are going to come down the next couple of months, get a relationship established with somebody in the market that does mortgages. Learn them, let them know who you are, let them know what you're looking for. They'll put you on alerts to when rates move. They can put you on all sorts of things, and you're prepared. Because the goal is, right? We all like to be ahead of the crowd, right?
Absolutely.
Are you one of the Pirates fans that gets up toward the end and starts kind of walking toward the I see the smile walking toward the exit, right? Kind of edge into the car, right? They're out there. I've heard of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm that way too. So now is your time if you're thinking about, you want to talk about mortgages, you want to talk about home equity loans, get with a mortgage professional, start talking about it, and that way you're prepared when it does happen and you're in front of everybody else.
That's
right?
a good thing.
So,
yeah. You're not going, I got to run back in because I heard somebody hit a home run.
That's the idea. You got it.
You're already done.
You're already done. You're already done.
Good to go.
So that's the loan side.
Okay.
Deposit side. So say you have CDs, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us like to have a kind of emergency savings, liquid cash. We'll put those into CDs. Well, those rates have been relatively high for the last couple of years. So, when you get a CD, a certificate of deposit, you lock in that rate for a certain period of time. Could be as short as like 30 days, could be as long as like 5 years. So what you want to start thinking about, if you expect rates to come down, maybe you want to lock in for a longer term. Now, typically, if you lock in for a little bit longer term, at least in the market now, the rate's a little bit lower than what you get for a shorter term. There's a reason for that. Everybody thinks rates are coming down. So,
I understand.
And you can do some hedging. If you've got X number of dollars, don't put it all in one 3 month or a year. Put some of it in a 3 months, some in a 9 months, some in a year, 18 months, and you kind of flatten it out over time. So that way you kind of protect yourself on both sides if they do move. So,
yeah, I could see people's reasoning too by going, well, what if I do this? What if I do that? And again, I think it comes down to going down to your local bank,
that's right,
community bank, and sitting and talking with someone that can tell you the best stuff.
That's exactly right. And you're not talking to AI when you come into the bank either. So you got a person there. They understand you. They understand your needs. They understand what the market looks like, and they can advise you. So that's so really, it's all about get ready now for what's coming. So,
and I've said this many times before, and I'm not blowing smoke. I love the people of your bank. They're just wonderful. They are incredible. Walk in, they know you, they know what you're doing, and that's a good thing for someone like me, right. Because I don't know what I'm doing most of the time.
Well, it's in a part of our mission, serving our communities, but it's even our identity. It's called people centric. That's what we want to be. We're all about people. So come in and talk to us.
Well, the people thing comes into play too, because I've never seen you walk in here with a computer screen before.
Well, this is quite who besides me decides radio is the best medium to show a picture, right? But this is really cool, and I got to show you a picture because I figure you're going to have the best explanation to your listeners about these. I figured you could describe the photos. So one of the neat things we did, of course, we had the Washington County Fair these past couple of weeks, and we sponsored a photo contest. So we love seeing what our young artists and whatnot and older artists like myself can do with pictures in the area, taking pictures of the fair. So the website, WashingtonFair.org, you click on photo contest. Voting is open. We have 45 entries that have been submitted. Voting is open for the next day. It closes tonight at midnight, excuse me. So today is the last day. We're giving out some money, $350 to the first place.
That's a nice prize.
$150 the second. And we're going to highlight these local, photographers. So I brought 3 in for you today for you to describe to your listeners what you're going to see out there at WashingtonFair.org photo contest.
All right, let's check this out. This is the very first one.
All right, first picture here. I'm going to let Pete describe it. It's entitled Cow Loving.
Oh, yes, it is cow loving. How old do you think that little, was that boy or girl? But it looks like
probably
a boy.
18 months maybe.
And he's between 2 cows.
Yep.
And he's got his hands on both of them. He looks beautiful.
He looks adorable.
He's the cutest kid.
In the cow barn. Check out Cow Loving.
Yeah.
That's up there. And by the way, I'm not pushing any of these pictures. I'm just bringing some examples.
Yeah.
Here's the next one I thought was pretty cool.
Oh, that's how to stay cool on a very hot day at the fair. We've got a different little boy, and he's in a big red bucket.
That's right.
And it's on I guess the farm field there, or certainly a barn area, and he's out in the middle of the field, and he looks like he's having the time of his life.
That's right. It really does. And the submitter entitled it Bucket Bath.
Bucket Bath.
So
I'm telling
you
you
had a bucket bath, which I grew up on a farm. I'm comfortable with those.
He's having the best time of his life in that little red bucket. There's no question.
Here's your last one. Here's the third one.
Okay, let's see. Oh my, I love that. A Washington County Fair proudly displayed for 2024. And this time we've got 2 kids, and it looks like they're doing their favorite superhero on a rock or something like this.
That's right.
It's awesome.
We got face painting going on and all sorts of stuff. So
you could tell the way they made their eyes. It's some type of character that they
that's right.
that they're portraying.
There's 45 or so of these. So they're fun to check out, fun to see. WashingtonFair.org.
How do you
Click on
vote for
Photocast
just one?
And hit vote. Exactly. But get it in today. So we're excited to be awarding this.
Awesome. That is awesome. Oh, yeah, you got to do that. What's that website again to go check out?
That is WashingtonFair.org.
Okay. And one more thing before I let you go. I know we have Labor Day, and we talk, it doesn't feel like the end of summer right now because it's cooking out there. But that means a lot of people have already started back to school or will be going right after Labor Day. So now's the time for fall projects.
That's exactly right. And it kind of relates back into potentially declining rates. If and when rates start to decline, that opens up the market. People start to want to do those renovations, get the home equity loans, start to buy houses. So again, be prepared for that. We've got a HELOC special going on right now with a pretty attractive terms. It's on our website or come into the bank. Check it out, cb.bank. But get ready now, because you don't want to be the one who calls the remodeler in a month or two and says, I'm ready. And he goes, yeah, I got 10 in front of you. Right. So
that is true.
Get ready now.
And we've had a contractor on with me in the morning from Pappas Remodeling.
Yeah.
And he said the same thing.
Yeah.
If you're thinking, stop, make a decision.
That's right.
And get ready. And that's exactly what you're promoting too. Like if you got to have this cash, you want to have it not when you're fifth or sixth in line.
That's right. Get in line. Get it now. Right.
Ben, thanks so much for coming in, man. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Always full of energy too. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. And again, one more time, your website for the community bank,
cb.bank,
because that's kind of new, and you can go and it's very easy to kind of navigate around. And then the website for the photos,
washingtonfair.org.
All right, man. Thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it.